How are you? Welcome to the Climb to 1800. Now, we have recently been on a little bit of a downward spiral, but I believe that today will be the turning point where that spiral points upwards instead, and it is an upward spiral, even though that isn't really a phrase that anybody uses. I should mention that this weekend I am out of town, so I will not be able to post for the next 2 days, but while I'm gone, I will be studying intensely. So hopefully I'll be better than I am playing right now. Maybe what I need is a little bit of a reset. You're up against a 1685 from the Philippines. You're up against Knight f3, not a move that I face too often. So I'm going to start going into my King's Indian setup. And it is possible that this turns into a normal King's Indian game. Now it's not possible. I will mention I face these types of openings a lot in Bullet, and I will be honest, I do not fare too well against them because I'm not used to them, but I can play my first few moves pretty subconsciously. Not subconsciously, unconsciously. I'm not sure I want to play e5 because that would obviously put me in the pin of the knight. So I might want to play h6 followed by g4. The only reason I don't want to do that yet is because he hasn't obviously committed his castle. So first I'm just going to play knight d7, pretty non-committal. And preparing for e5/c5 potentially. Okay, he still doesn't commit. Now honestly, I'm not too afraid of this pin in the slightest. So I think that I'm just going to play e5 right now. I don't want to waste too much time in the opening because I have a feeling that since he's playing quite passively, this is sort of a London, but not really. The chess.com thing on the right is telling me that this is called a Tor attack. It's not one that I know. Let's just play e5 though. I highly doubt that it can be too wrong. If he captures my pawn, I'll probably take with Actually, I'd have to decide because, oh, okay. It's worth noting that this obviously doesn't win a piece because, well, he has enough defenders on it. And even if he didn't, actually, he might think that this doesn't work because this knight is pinned, which is true. So maybe I should play, okay, I have a bit of a sneaky combination of moves. If I play rook to e8, then I have the option of playing h6. If he moves back here, I play g5, and then the fork does work. So maybe I force his hand a little bit, force him to play something a bit more committal. Additionally, queen to e7 would suffice just as well. I kind of like that idea because it keeps my rook on f8, and too often in these in King's Indians games, I regret moving my rook to e8. So with that idea, let's move my queen to e7, enforcing the same idea, but keeping my rook a little bit more flexible. Okay, he castles. Now I see no reason not to follow through with my threat, so let's play h6. I think he's actually forced to capture my knight here. I don't think he has a choice. If he recaptures my knight, which I assume he will, of course, or not recaptures, if he captures it in the first place, I will probably recapture it with my knight, further enforcing the threat of this fork. Obviously, though, he is not forced to do anything. My opponent has free will. However, I really do believe that his only move is to give up to the dark squared bishop. Not give it up, to trade it, I should say. By the way, I was at a event where I meet students who are going to be my classmates next year, and one of them is a FIDE master. So we talked about chess for a while. Obviously, he is much better than me, and I look forward to playing him in the following year if we both join the chess club. Okay, so he moves back. I did originally say that this was a blunder. I think I still stand by that. However, I am worried g5. He does get pretty darn good compensation for this pawn. However, I'd be lying if I said that I think it's enough. I can win a piece right now, pretty clearly. But I'm not sure it's worth it, because this attack might actually be pretty darn strong. Unfortunately, I can't just push this right now, because obviously my queen is still pinned. I can play g5 and win a piece. I think that I'm going to end up doing that, just because I don't really fear his attack as much as I think he hopes I do. So let's play it. Maybe this is what he wants. It's very possible. But I don't think that he has enough pieces on this side of the board to really actually be too much of a threat. Now, if he moves back over here, okay, yeah, so he does capture with the knight. This is what I expected. Yeah, this is what I expected. And what I slightly feared, I'll be honest. Because obviously I have the piece, but now it's all about king safety. Yeah, this is all about king safety. Now, honestly, I'm enticed to just move the queen out of the way. If I move the queen out of the way, I gain e5. I don't have e5 right now because obviously the knight can't recapture, because I would lose my queen. So I think that the strongest move might be queen to e6, bringing the queen out, and I think that is what I'm going to play without too much second guessing. Now I am out of the pin. In hindsight, I probably should have played queen to e8 all the way back here, and that would have probably given me the stronger position. Instead, though, opponent plays queen out to here. That is surprising to me, because obviously that looks like it walks straight into this. I don't think it does, because, wait, actually does it? No, he does have enough defenders on it, so it does not walk into that, but... Actually... Here... Takes, right? No, I mean takes. Then knight takes. Bishop takes. Then... Yeah, so he doesn't really have anything too scary just yet, but... I think I'm going to play rook e8 now, so that I have... Oh wait, I'm actually realizing that his idea might actually be bishop to f5. His idea might actually be bishop to f5. And that does look a little bit scary. Now, one way I can remove that threat is by playing knight to b6, connecting my queen to that. I say that. However, I also have to analyze if that move is actually scary to begin with. Like here, do I even fear it? Do I even fear it? I think that I might have to take it a little bit seriously, because if I move my queen out to d5, say, he can just move his queen out of the way, and then he's threatening all sorts of devious things. Yeah, I think that I do actually have to connect my queen and my bishop. Yeah, I don't think I have too much of a choice, to be honest. I could also sacrifice a pawn, by the way. I could just sack this pawn, but I don't really see the full reasoning behind that, so I'd rather not. Let's just play this move. Now he does not have bishop to f5. It's worth noting that if he ever goes like, well, obviously he can't go queen there, but if he tries to get down this file, okay, so I was gonna say I have e5, which I probably still do have. Obviously, he is making sure that this bishop is pinned. However, I am now looking at this this knight, defending it like that. So, honestly, let's just cut down on his bishop's vision over here. I think e5 is a pretty darn strong move. But what if he goes back here and he tries to reroute it? If I can trade this bishop, I'll be golden. I don't think I have this move, unfortunately. But after e5, I think I do. Yes. Let's play e5 first. Shutting him down a little bit. And if I do end up losing the c7 pawn in the process to the queen, I think that's a worthwhile sacrifice. I mean, if I end up having to play d5, which is a possibility. For sure a possibility. And yeah, after I get knight to h7, I can, if he goes back here, which I would think he probably will. Oh no, I can't immediately trade the bishops because I'm pinned. But I can in the future. I can in the future. Which might even warrant king to h8. Actually, king to h8 looks like a decent move in a lot of these positions. And by the way, I kind of regret taking the piece for the pawns, because I feel like he might actually get a brilliant for it. He's definitely generated a strong attack on me. So, maybe it was worthwhile. Ooh, another idea in the future is king to h8, rook to g8. Then, if this is ever x-raying over here, then I can imagine a world where I can take here with the queen. Yeah, that's the move I was thinking he's going to play, which makes total sense. He can't really bring it in yet because I would just snap it up with my knight. However, I imagine that he's looking... no, he also couldn't really play here because I would also just snap that up. So, maybe I want to bring this knight in via this way and then maybe over here. Yeah, if I can get this queen trade, I'll really be golden. Let's see. I really want to play knight to h7, but I'm just not sure it's good. He moves the bishop away. Then I offer the queen trade. Yeah, that looks good for me. What happens if he moves it to here? Then I probably still offer the queen trade. Yeah, so I think that knight to h7 is actually a pretty strong move. And am I giving up this pawn in the process? Possibly. I just don't think I have time to avoid losing this pawn. I could try playing rook to e8 first. Oh, also, I'm defending it right now. So either way, this move doesn't really lose me too much. So let's play it. Let's play it, because my queen is defending this right now. So any move that I make on the next turn won't immediately change the defense of this pawn. But yeah, this is looking like it's going to be a game where I have to just prove that his initial sacrifice, which I assume was a sacrifice, it could have been a mistake, was unsound. And if I can simplify, I should be better. But if I fail to simplify and he gets a massive attack, obviously he should be better, right? I'm also looking at c6, then followed by d5. Because, I mean, for obvious reasons, that just solidifies this pawn, kind of freezes the center a little bit. Although, to be fair, I'm not sure if freeze of the center is what I really want. Yeah, I was mentioning this move, but I don't think that it's actually that good. Because now I can force a trade of at least one piece. One piece mentioned. Yeah, I think that queen to g6 is pretty much a no-brainer. Yeah, queen to g6 is a no-brainer. Because now if he doesn't take me, then I'm going to obviously win this bishop. Or if he does that, I was just going to say that I'm going to take here. And let's just do that. He might take with his pawn. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. But now I really don't see where his attack is. And yeah, I have this move even. Bishop to h6. I'm not going to play it instantly. I'm going to analyze. Because after this, he can't even push this pawn because I can just take it. After takes. My king is open, but he doesn't really have an immediate way of attacking that. I can even play king to h8. Yeah, this is the right move. I'm fairly confident. I'm fairly confident. And if I can liquefy, I'm happy. That being said, this trade does open up some ideas for him as well. So I can't just blindly take. Oh, but now I have f5. Obviously, he can't take because the queen. If I take here, I can't really do that because then his knight gets in. Although, will he do that? If I take here and he takes with the rook, his queen is defended. So I think we do this first. Yeah, we do this first. His queen is obviously... Oh, no, it is defended. I don't know really what I'm talking about then. But even if he takes this and I take the queen, then he takes with his bishop, I win this pawn back anyway. And I'm totally fine with that position. So even though I kind of miscalculated, it isn't that big of a deal. Oh, actually, it might be. No, that was a mistake, because he can take this bishop now, takes, and then take this pawn. Yeah, I made a pretty big mistake just now. But it might not be as big as I think it is, because after I go back to queen to g8, it'll just be even material if we follow that line. The only problem, obviously, is that his pawns are crashing down on my king's side. But then again, his king is also right here, so it's not like he's totally safe himself. And if he takes this pawn, then... Oh, not what I expected at all. Not what I expected at all. I wonder what the reasoning behind that move is. I mean, I just want to take this, right? I assume he's going to take back with this pawn, but then it's doubled. Yeah. This has to be right. And if he takes back with the queen, then I take this pawn. And I'm playing a little bit faster now because I have half the time. Okay, now I take this, I think. Let me just make sure. If I take this, that's just a terrible decision. Yeah, we take here. We take here. We take here. And then after this recapture, this pawn is hanging. It looks like I have almost successfully liquefied. And then I can even do a rook lift if I need to. Yeah, looks like I'm the one who's going to be crashing down first, but it's obviously nowhere near over. Nowhere near over. I think that he had a much better way of doing things, but ultimately I'm not complaining. Now, if I take here, he's probably going to take this pawn. I could push this pawn first, though. Forcing the knight to move. Probably not there. And I think that that is the best course of action. Forcing this knight to move first, and then taking this pawn. So let's do it. We're not giving him anything for free. Anything at all. And if he moves here, then after I take this pawn is then hanging to the, well, to the rook, but I would probably take with the queen, because then I'm offering the queen trade. Actually, no, I probably would take with the rook after all, because then I could stack the rooks, and that looks good. Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm definitely winning right now, but I'm so bad at conversion, as you guys know, that I'm very much still questioning what's going to happen. Okay, so he does end up playing that move. I'm not going to really change course too much. I'm just going to take the pawn. It is worth noting that this knight is pinned. I mean, this pawn is pinned. So if this rook ever moves out of the way, and I take this pawn, I will be threatening to take the knight. Obviously not a consideration yet. But if I do end up stacking the rooks in this file, it will be. I think the most likely move by him is... Well, I wasn't not going to say that. Okay, obviously we're not going to blunder mate in 1. Honestly, I see no reason not to just take this knight and then trade down to a completely simplified endgame. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it. I mean, we have a fully passed pawn anyway. And then after he recaptures, yeah, I mean, this is pretty much over if I play my cards right. Now, I'm not going to take this first. First, I will take this pawn. Yep, first I will take this pawn. Now, obviously, he can trade on his terms, but honestly, that's what I want anyway, so it's kind of on my terms. Okay, he just blunders a rook because this pawn is pinned. So, yeah, now it should be fully over. But I doubt that he'll resign. I highly doubt it. Oh, I'm pleasantly surprised. Okay, let's do a game review. Finally, I have a game where I'm the one in the driver's seat. Finally. And the chess.com coach is telling me that English chess masters were recruited as code breakers during World War II. I did not know that. You learn something new every day. Okay, and yeah, we have 1 miss, 4 mistakes. Not my best game, according to the engine, but also not my worst. 78% accuracy versus 63. So yeah, I immediately did not know this opening. It wanted me to go c5 immediately here. I doubt that that's necessary. If you go into explore, d6 is by far, well, not by far, it's the most played move, followed by c5. So I guess either is viable. Then this is all fine. Yeah, e5 is the right break. c5 is probably okay, but it's not it's not recommended. It's not blessed by the engine at all. In fact, it's 0.3 worse. So it definitely made the right decision with an e5 break because of all the threats that it has over here, I believe. Then after c3, yeah, queen to e7 was fine. So yeah. And now, this is the move. Yeah, so I think that castling there was a big mistake. Even though the computer says it's fine. Because it gives me h6, he has to take my knight. Instead, he moves back, and I find g5. This is the only move that keeps it semi-close. I mean, taking with the knight. But ultimately, it's just not enough compensation. And I immediately move my queen to the wrong square. But he doesn't punish me for it, so it's all good. Why is moving here such a mistake, by the way? Because f5? I mean f4? Yeah, don't I play e4 then? Then it's telling me f5, queen to e8. Okay, so I basically lost a tempo by having to move my queen back after f4, e4, f5, I believe. Or maybe it's something deeper than that, I'm not sure. But either way, he makes a mistake. I make my own mistake. Let's see why. Okay, so I played knight to h7 later on. I should have just played it immediately over here, which I guess does make sense, because the reason that I played knight to... Wait, actually doesn't make sense. Oh, it does make sense, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because I was afraid of this move, but after knight to h7, this doesn't work anymore. F5, bishop f5, because I can just take this pawn. I mean, this bishop. Because after bishop takes, I'm taking the king with the queen with check, and then I'm actually winning a piece on top of the piece I already have. So I did miss knight to h7 there. Although it's obviously not terrible for me. He finds the one decent move. e4 is bad. I should have, again, played knight h7 immediately. Then I finally find the move. Where else should he have moved his bishop, though? Okay, he should have just taken first. Oh, that makes sense, because I'm actually losing a pawn after this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, so I messed up. But he didn't find it, so it's all good. Okay, I didn't actually find the best queen move. Oh, I should have played f5. Okay, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. Let's say that he moves back over here. Then I can just trade this, and then probably trade the queens, right? Yeah. But I didn't follow that exact move. I instead moved my queen over here, which is totally fine. Then I traded. And I thought bishop h6 was a great move, but apparently it's not great. He should have taken an f4. Wait, no, he should have taken this. Why? Oh, because he's winning this pawn again. I was kind of determined to hang out e4 pawn. Oops. Spoiler alert. Sorry, let me just go ahead really quickly. Yeah, so this wasn't a great move, but then, yeah. By the way, I knew that f5 was a mistake already, because he has takes, and then takes with check. So I did see that was a mistake, but he didn't follow it up correctly. Yeah, he missed it. And now after taking this bishop, I'm just completely winning. Although, I did miss knight to d5 first, which does make sense, kind of. Although, this looks a bit less clear than it needs to. Okay, so I didn't get the computer blessing with taking on g4, but I think it's fine. Yeah, so then pushing there first is correct, because if I take here, he is taking it over on e4. Then he actually has this semi-solid pawn structure that's going to be a little bit difficult to break through. After, say g3. Oh, it's my move. So I'd play knight to d5, then g3. Oh, g3 isn't the move. Never mind. It's something else. It's like knight to f2. I don't. You'd have to explain to me why this is correct after this, but that's beside the point. Yeah, e6. Then I take. Then after this, I mean, it's just so simplified. That, yeah, then he... By the way, blundering fully the rook at this point, it's so winning for me already that it's not even in blunder, it's an inaccuracy. And yeah, at this point, even I probably wouldn't lose this game because there's a pawn promoting. So we're back up to 1669. Funny number. Thank you for watching. I will see you again on Monday because, again, I am leaving tomorrow. But thank you for watching. Have a great night, and adios.